again. January day 9. Look under the hood. Alright, so this one I was trying to do like a very MIDI, almost 80s kind of thing. It started with like a Steve Reich kind of idea with just have a repeating thing and kind of build and layer on that, and then it turned into more of a song. But we got lots of, see the instrument over here, M1, Korg M1, Korg M1, Korg M1. And then we got Korg M1, we got massive. We got Korg M1, we got contact with the sub. And then we got some EXS sample instruments playing Lindrum. You can see Lindrum. It's that Oliver Lindrum kit. Anyway, let's take a listen to some of the parts. This is the first thing. This is what it started with. Just this little chord. I love this chord. Like this is like an F major with a natural 4 in it, arpeggiating down. Right, and that keeps going, to which we had this guy, which is sort of like it's like a bass line with an extra little bit of literally the same thing. That F major with the B flat in it again, arpeggiated up, and then a little melody at the end. To which we add another layer, this guy here. Okay, so this is a cool trick. I like this trick a lot. This is like a chord coupling trick, a chord inversion trick. Basically, the idea is you take two different triads. In this case, it's F major and G minor, right? Two triads, F major, G minor. And you play sort of through all of them in their different inversions. So you could play like an F root position, then a G minor root position, then an F first inversion, then a G minor first inversion, then F second inversion, then G minor second inversion. And you get this like, I don't know what you would call it. You get this really nice effect from these two specifically, these two chords when they're coupled together. Love that sound, big fan. We have, I don't know if you'd call this a bridge, but we're adding another sound to it, this sort of percussive thing. Doing a similar variation on the trick, but you know, one note has changed. You can see this one's not a proper F major, it's an F suspended, but you know, you can do whatever you want. And then under that a bass line, also M1. Then one more section at the end here, which is based on this bass line, and I've got the slap and thump, the Seinfeld bass again, everyone's best friend. And then I muted this part here. But you can see like very similar G with a fifth, octave, fourth and seventh. It's very like perfect fourthy, and I've doubled that with a massive bass here. Alright, so there's a couple things going on here. First, let's look at the massive patch. Massive patch is really simple. We got a low pass filter with envelope 1 giving it some attack and a little bit of decay. And then we've got, a lot of phase modulation on it, which is what gives it that FM sort of sound. And then this is rough math 2. So let's turn everything off here and just listen to what rough math sounds like on its own. Right, bit of punch, and then a bit of like, almost, it sounds like FM. I'm gonna turn this delay off. Dimension expander. Simple bass, love this sound. And I've got a few variations on this sound. And then, all right, so we've got a Transient Designer to give it more punch. I've sent it here to just a room reverb. My reverb channel is a small wet room. I read in a Sound on Sound magazine that this is what Nicki Minaj uses. By that I mean her producers. So I was like, cool. And I use it on everything when I need a room reverb. And then channel EQ, cutting everything off below 440 hertz. A directional mixer. I could use wider here as well, but I want to push the reverb out of the way of whatever it's affecting and just have the reverb out on the sides. And then I have a compressor coming from the kick to push that down again. Back over here to the massive patch, we have wider. You can hear it in the actual track probably. Channel EQ. Oh, because I have a sub underneath it, I'm cutting everything off at 158 hertz. And then we've got, I can get rid of this, not even using that. We've got tape delay, which allows me to do this trick here, where I basically just like, I have a really quick delay, and then I slow it down, and it sounds like the delay slowing down on tape. Cool. And that's that trick. Love that sound. Very natural sounding kind of thing. Really natural sounding effect, which I like. Anything that's like blah blah blah, any effect that like people understand sort of subconsciously, like, oh, it's slowing down. Any effect like that makes your music, I think, more accessible generally, because people are like, oh, this is a natural thing. Yeah, anyway. This is what I'm like when I'm tired. Here's what my Lin drums all sound like. What do we got here? We got a hat with literally no effect on it at all. We got a clap with some echo. Oh yeah, we got a sort of a really quick, lots of feedback echo. We got a snare, which has my gated chamber on it. And this has been, like, the length of it is massively shorter. I think it was 458 milliseconds. And I cut that down to 124 milliseconds just to be like a really quick slapback. OTT to pull up that reverb a little bit. Camel Crushers Annihilate to crush it. And then Echo, it's the same thing. A really quick sort of like with less feedback and less wet. And then the kick, which I also, British Clean, but I turned up the mechanical distortion. I wanted a really distorted kick and snare. Not necessarily punchy, just like sort of crushed and distorted. OTT, we got Space Designer. Oh, I put a different gated room on the kick, and then cut off some of the highs because it was distracting me. And here's what the drums sound like. So you can hear that on the clap. Why don't we turn off all the effects on all the drums and see what it sounds like without them as a thought experiment. Bus 1 here is just my sidechain coming from the kick. Logic works different from Ableton. In Ableton, whatever your destination is, you'd put the compressor on and be like, sidechain from this track. But in Logic, I mean, you can do the same thing, but in Logic what I do is I send the kick to bus 1, and then here on my chords or whatever, I would say compressor sidechain from bus 1. And that way I can route multiple things to the same compressor, which I really like and is tougher in Ableton. Usually in Ableton it'd be easier just to copy a compressor and be like, this one's from the kick, and this one's from the snare, and this one's from whatever. Anyway, here's what the drums sound like without any stuff on them. Yeah, so that's like way more of a vibe with all my effects on it. Even though I don't necessarily think it's like good or smart processing. Actually, you know what? No, scratch that. That's stupid. If it sounds good, it is good. This isn't what I would think of as being like technically very good production because I'm just like distorting everything. But you know what? I want it to sound that way, and I achieved what I was hoping for within about 10%. So, you know what? If it sounds good, it is good. Don't overthink the thing. Boom, January day 9.